If your house is anything like mine, summer is complete chaos. Between endless snack requests, hearing "I'm bored" 57 times a day, and hunting down one of those 3 bottles of sunscreen you're sure you bought but you just can't remember where they are for pool days, Instagram can feel like just one more thing you don't have time for. But if you don't post over the summer, you'll lose your traction, and then come fall, you're starting from zero, rebuilding that engagement and trust all over again, trying to get sales. But if you end up just winging it, then you're posting just for the sake of posting and you're missing out on that real strategy that gets you those consistent sales. What if you had a plan that actually fits your busy summer life, a plan that lets you post less, but post smarter so you can stay visible, keep building that trust and connection, and still make sales without burning out? That is exactly what my summer content planning workshop is all about. If you're ready to make summer your season to sell while relaxing poolside without scrambling for posts, get all the details and save your spot in the show notes or at sociallyyours.biz/summer workshop. You don't need to post on Instagram every day this summer, but if you disappear completely, it's going to be way harder to sell later when people are ready to buy in the fall. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through how to plan summer content that gives you more freedom and flexibility while still leading to sales, even if you're only posting 2 or 3 times a week. Welcome to Mompreneur Mastery, where we build businesses, raise families, and skip the hustle that doesn't actually help. I'm Sydney O'Brien, certified Instagram strategist, mom of 3, and your no-fluff guide to making more sales with content that's strategic, simple, and you can actually make in the small mom cracks of your day. Because Instagram shouldn't feel like a full-time job you're not getting paid for. If you're ready to stop posting just to stay visible and start sharing content that actually converts to sales and gets you clients, you're in the right place. Hey, and welcome back to Mompreneur Mastery. I am your host, Sydney O'Brien, and today, like I said, we're talking about summer content plans because let's be so for real right now. Summer does not care about your content plan. Between camps and vacations and traveling and your kids asking you for a new snack every 7.5 minutes, it is really easy for Instagram to fall way down your priority list. And that is totally fine. I completely understand. It's the same for me too. But when you don't have a plan for your content, one of 2 things usually happens. Either you don't post at all, or you scramble to throw something together that doesn't connect with the rest of your content or really lead anywhere, right? And that is how you end up spending time on content and not seeing results. And if you're not posting at all, it's going to take you longer to get those results when people are back in action in the fall and ready to buy. So today I want to walk you through exactly how I plan and batch content during the summer in a way that works with my life and not against it. Because my goal is always to hang out with my family much, much more than working. I don't want to spend all my work hours making content when I could be at the pool with my kids or doing something else fun. Because I know summer is chaotic and the idea of just ghosting Instagram for 2 months might sound kind of appealing. And if that is what you need to do personally, go for it. If you are trying to figure out if that's what you want to do, let me just give you some information. Summer is when most people disappear, when everyone else is quiet. Even posting once or twice a week helps you stand out and stay top of mind. So the people who are scrolling pools or while they're traveling, they're seeing your content and engaging, and you're still nurturing and building that trust and connection you need to make sales. So you can still make sales with a strategic content plan while spending way less time on Instagram. But when you don't post at all, your engagement will totally tank, and it's going to be a lot harder to get that back when you start up again. You're going to be starting from scratch instead of just slowly increasing frequency. So just by showing up a little bit, your content keeps working for you. So this is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it on purpose, still being intentional with your content and posting with purpose. Now, if there is one thing I know about being a mom in business, moms in general, honestly, it is that routines are changing constantly. Kids' schedules shift, whether it's school days and holidays or whether, you have a baby at home and it's new nap time schedule or they start to teeth or kids get sick or, bedtime routines get out of whack because of daylight savings and suddenly bedtime is taking 97 years and it cuts down on your work time. sometimes what worked last week just doesn't this week. You can't really predict it, but you can plan for it. My whole year this year has been throwing me curveballs. We've had new commitments for the kids with more homeschool enrichment classes, more sports, and we also have new recurring doctor's visits for two of my kids. So there was just no way that I could keep doing what I was doing when it comes to planning content without burning out. So that is when I came up with a more flexible strategy, one that I have been tweaking for the summer months so I can do even less, but still have that strategy behind it so my content is working for me and actually helping me make sales. Because I obviously still want what I post to be strategic so it actually gets those results that I need for my business. I still want it to build towards sales, but I want the freedom to be able to adjust it when I need to and not feel like I have to start over every time something changes. So it used to be I would batch a full month of content and create and schedule it at once, and then I would just be done. And it worked back then, but now that does not fit into my life. Now I batch a week at a time while I have a content plan for a month, not the post, just the plan. And then I will batch the actual content about a week at a time. But I always, always, always keep the strategy behind my posts. But doing it this way gives me the space to jump on a trending audio if something fits, share something personal or timely if it fits in my content plan. If there's another Instagram update or something, any kind of industry update that needs to be addressed timely, I am able to still do that and I have the flexibility to do that. Or if my schedule shifts, if something is going on with the kids, I have flexibility there as well. But the best part is I always have a plan to fall back on. I am never starting from scratch, and that makes creating the content way less overwhelming and it happens so much faster. So it doesn't take me a whole lot of time. I would say when I do my actual content plan, that takes me maybe just 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much content I'm doing that week. And this is for a month. I'm not getting into exactly what I'm going to be posting every month. I'll explain in just a minute. And then each week I probably spend 45 minutes to an hour actually creating and scheduling the content for that week. And I've normally been posting about 5 times a week. So this is for 5 weekly posts, taking me 45 minutes to an hour every week. So this saves me a bunch of time. So when it comes to summer, I'm going to follow that same general plan, but I'm going to be posting less. So let me walk you through what that is going to look like. First, like I said, I start with the big picture. I look at the whole month and I ask, what am I promoting? What weeks are going to be wild where I need to do less? What days do I already know I want completely off? I don't want to be doing anything in my business, not because I don't want to be promoting something that takes a lot of my time if I know I'm going to be busy. Like I don't want to have a sale where I'm going to have to do like done for you work when people buy if I'm going to be like visiting family in New England or something. So I block those days off. That will just be non-promo content or like low lift content. I can sell something that takes zero energy for me and everything is automated. But then I want to drop in anything I am promoting. So if I'm going to have a flash sale or a launch or anything like that, I will put that in second. And then I work backwards using my 5 steps to sales strategy. And those 5 steps are growth, engagement, connection, trust, and promotion. And that is what gives me the overall structure. Okay. But I'm not done yet. So then once I have that, if I have not been interrupted by my children, I go back and I look at each week to figure out what kind of content I need on each day I plan to post. And I follow those 5 steps that I mentioned just a minute ago. So engagement to start building visibility again, connection to warm people up before a sale, trust, sharing that social proof, and then the promo day. So I will go and label every day that I plan to share content like that: engagement, connection, trust, whatever. And then, because this is real life, like I said, I normally get interrupted by someone yelling, "Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a sandwich?" Someone so is touching me and I don't want them to. So that's fine. That's like one step. I don't ever have time to do this all in one sitting, which is why I definitely need that flexibility I talked about earlier. So then, when I do have time to come back to my laptop, normally with a child crawling on me, that is when I start to plug in specific post topics. So if I have marked one of those posts as engagement, I will think, what is something I can say that would get me replies? And now, not just any old thing, I want it to be related to whatever I'm going to be promoting next. So, what pain point or goal is really top of mind for my audience right now that is related to the offer I'm going to be promoting soon? If it's a connection post, I might share a story or something I've been struggling with or I have struggled with that they'll relate to. If it's trust, I can share some social proof, maybe client results or results I've gotten. And then all of this is based around the offer I'm building toward, okay? So, quick example here. Let's say at the end of July, I want to sell my trial reels guide. It's low energy for me because people buy it and it's automatically delivered to their inbox. There's no done for you content I have to take time to create. So, it's kind of perfect for a summer sale. So, I will look at the thing I'm trying to promote and I will think about pain points surrounding this topic that this offer solves. And I will think about goals that this offer helps people achieve. And then I will look at my content calendar and look, starting with those like engagement posts that I marked down on the content calendar. I will create post topics around those pain points and goals and scenarios people are experiencing that would all be solved with this offer. So for an engagement post, I could do, are you posting consistently but still getting crickets? And then break down like why engagement stays low if the wrong people are seeing your stuff, since the goal of the trial reels guide and formulas is to use trial reels to find super aligned followers that actually engage and actually buy. So then for a connection post, I could share a story about how I spent so much time hopping on random reels trends, hoping it would get me followers, and it did, but they weren't aligned, so it actually tanked my engagement rate and really hurt my account, or something like that. For a trust post, I could share the social proof how when I was coming up with this guide and formulas, it came about because I, shared one trial reel and two of the new followers I got joined my membership within a week. So this is the perfect way to get those aligned followers that actually buy from you. And then from there, the sales post, right? Following that 5-step strategy. So I have like just general topic ideas that I'm filling into this content calendar, okay? And then every week I will go in and I will look at what is trending. I will look at the goal of the post. I will know the general idea of what I want to talk about. And then I will go look and see what is trending. Not to get ideas. I'm not just chasing trends for the sake of it. But if there's something that fits the message I already have planned, trends are supposed to support your strategy, not replace it. So if there is that, great, I will totally use it and take advantage of that trend. If not, I will stick with a static post, talking head reel, carousel, something else. The post still gets made and it still serves that purpose, working toward the ultimate goal of sales. So if summer already feels like a lot with the chaos that it includes with changing schedules and all of that, and Instagram falls somewhere between not a priority and literally no, I totally get it. But here's the thing, you don't have to post more. You don't need to show up every day. And you definitely don't need to keep guessing what might work. What you do need is a plan that gives you flexibility. And not just for your schedule, right? But for your content strategy too. Because trends change, how people consume content changes. So we don't want to plan too much ahead of time. Do you remember when everyone loved the 3 ways to grow on Instagram kind of content, like X ways to achieve whatever goal? But now content is all about real life, relatable, person first content, right? So if I were to make that post today, I would instead say the 3 things I do to get new followers as an Instagram strategist, even if I only have 1 hour a week. So not only as moms do we need the flexibility in our content plan, especially in the summer with routines changing and schedules changing and all the things going on, all the vacations happening and summer camps and everything. But we also need it for the content itself, right? So that is why batching a month at a time it doesn't work anymore. And that is exactly why I created the stress-free summer content planning workshop. It's not just to help you plan a calendar full of random posts so you can check Instagram off your to-do list. While I know that sounds really appealing, my goal is always to help you get more sales, not just to fill your feed with posts that get you likes and comments, right? So in this workshop, I walk you through the whole process. I'm going to be doing it for my content right alongside you, answering your questions, helping you brainstorm post topics, all of the things. And it is only $7. So it's a live workshop. And yes, you get a replay. I completely understand things happen. Kids need you. You might have to leave early. The time might not work. Totally fine. But I walk you through the actual process so you can build a content plan that's tied to your business goals, map it around your real life. Yes, even if your kids are home for the summer and your schedules are absolutely bonkers, and you know exactly how each post builds towards sales, not just likes and comments. And the best part is you don't have to start from scratch every week. You will walk away with a simple, flexible strategy that you can adjust as needed because your life and Instagram, it doesn't always follow the perfect plan. So if you're tired of content that feels random, if you're tired of trying to post just to keep up or tired of wondering what the heck to say, this is definitely for you. I don't want you wasting your precious summer hours on content that isn't going to get you sales. And don't want you to completely abandon Instagram and make it harder to build that momentum again up in the fall. So you can grab your seat at the link in the show notes for the stress-free summer content planning workshop. It is only $7. Like I said, there's a replay. I'm hosting it this Thursday, June 12th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It's $7, and I promise it'll save you way more than that in stress, in your time, and in second-guessing your content. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I hope you give yourself permission to do less on purpose while still showing up in a way that works for you and your business and your family. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on Mompreneur Mastery. If this episode gave you more clarity or a little boost of confidence, I would love for you to follow the show, leave a review, or share it with a fellow mom building her business on her own terms. And hey, if something really clicked, DM me on Instagram. I am at socially.yours.strategist and tell me the one thing you're doing differently after listening. I love hearing what is landing for you. Until next time, here is to less stress, more sales, and a business that actually fits your life.